Hi, Queen Yoga Bee here. Thank you for watching. So today's lesson is plank and restorative yoga. So don't worry, there is no plank in this lesson, but there is a plank. No plank pose, a plank. Actually, there are two of them. They are 6 inches wide and 4 feet long, and they're tongue and groove, pine, unfinished. I like the smell of pine. So the reason I have two is because sometimes you need more than 6 inches, and these guys will tongue and groove together. So it's really handy. So let's see. You can use it instead of bolsters because bolsters are kind of soft and floppy. I like to use blocks too, but I don't want the blocks to be my foundation because blocks tip over too easily. I still use weighted bags and blankets and blocks, and sometimes I use bolsters, but mainly it's the frame. So anyway, I'm going to teach you 4 poses, restorative yoga poses. So the first one is supported bridge. So in supported bridge, I only need one of these, and I'm going to put it on 2 blocks. Now I could put it on 3. If you have a bigger person or a wider person, you could put it on 3 blocks. So I'm going to cover it up, cushion with a little cushion, which is my blankets. Okay. And then, hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I have something for my head. In my case, I have a 10-pound weighted rice bag and a 6-pound weighted rice bag. I like them because they don't move. Then I take a blanket and I fold it into a square with the point that's going to very subtly support my T6 vertebrae. And I'll show you what I do when I get on it. So here I go. And you probably don't want to bump in the middle of it, but oh, and I don't want you to put anything under the curve of your neck. And we're going for having your nose higher than your chin. That's more restorative than the other way around. So getting on it is a trick. You have to do some adjustment, right? So here I am. Oops. Scooch down longer than I think. So that little point is supporting my T6 vertebrae. And now I can take this blankie and I can squash it in and tuck it under, and that's going to keep my head from rolling side to side. So I could have my knees bent and have them together, more of a teepee. That's very restful. What I'm going for is an arch in my back, sending my shoulders back, opening my heart. So my arms are long enough to reach the ground with my elbows like this, but if you wanted to, you could put something under your hands to raise your hands so that your hands are higher than your elbows. You don't ever want your elbows to be higher than your hands. It just does this to you. You can also put a weight on your hands. You can use your little eye thing over your eyes or on your forehead. You can cover yourself up with a blanket. Very awesome and wonderful. So all of these poses, you're going to stay somewhere between 5 and 15 minutes. Highly recommend it. So this is supported bridge. Okay, what are we doing next? We're doing legs up the wall. Well, I am going to have legs up the fireplace because you can't see what I'm doing if I face that way very well. So now I'm going to take both of these things and I'm going to tongue and groove them together. So tongue and groove them together. So I have 12 inches because my legs are wider than 6. I hate to say. Yeah, so here I am. So if I want my bum elevated, I can put a bolster, a blankie, a block. I'm not too crazy about blocks, again, underneath your bum because they're hard. I want something soft. So, and you can put something under your head, again, trying to support that vertebrae, that one that bumps out here. So you got to get kind of close, and it makes some scooching up to do. And it helps to have somebody help you. So here I am. I can put blankets in a bolster if I wanted to underneath my legs from here to here to give it more support, or you can bend your knees, or you can even put a strap around your legs. So it's the same process here. I don't want my head to go from side to side, so I'm gonna put the edges in so it doesn't rock. It can't go either way. So again, my hands can be, I like them open to the universe. You can put a block under each hand if you want, or a small blanket or a towel. You can use the iPad over your forehead. You put a weight on your belly. I'm a big fan of a 10-pound weight on my belly. It helps me feel grounded. But you can also put it farther, so it's a little off your belly and more on the bottom of your hips. Totally up to you. Hands can be on your belly, hanging onto the blanket, or wide, or whatever works for you. Okay, so that's restorative pose number 2. That was fun. Now, let's see what restorative pose number 3 is. Restorative pose number 3 is child's pose. So this one, I don't need 2 blocks. I want it to be only 6 inches wide. And so you can see what it looks like sideways. I'm going to use this heavy crock here, and I'm going to put this here, slanted. Your body could hold this still, but I'm going to use a weight to hold it still. I'm going to, all I really need is something for my head on this. I get as close as I need to. You can have your legs straight. You can support them underneath. Totally up to you. Now it depends. Some people can't lean this far forward, right? So then you get to change the angle, right? Make it more straight up and down. You're closer. And there you go. So obviously having something on your eyes doesn't work. It'll fall off. I don't know about having something underneath your bum for your pelvis to be tilted forward. I think it depends on what you want to do with your lower back and how that feels. Remember, it's a restorative pose, not an active pose. Okay, so that's child's pose. I know it's a modification. It doesn't look much like child. And the last one is a reclined butterfly. So again, I'm using this to keep it still, but you know, a sticky mat does just as good, and maybe I won't be able to get my bum as close as I want it. Let's try a smaller one. Yeah. So this one, here I am. Now, I like it when it's just the plank, because 6 inches fits nicely between my shoulder blades, and it keeps my heart open, and it kind of gives me a little pressure in that spot where I hold a lot of tension and blocked energy. But if it's too much for you, you can take your blanket, and if you have trouble keeping it where you want it, you've got to drape it all the way from the top down. So you take the whole blankie, yeah, and make it a little softer, and you can take as many of them as you want. So I'm in butterfly, Baddha Konasana. I'm leaning back. Oh yeah, this is where I want to be. Your hands can be in any mudra you want. They can be on the ground. Wow, it's great. All of this is done with a plank. So I kind of tricked you into watching this. I thought you'd say, oh my gosh, plank and restorative yoga, they don't go together. Well, it's not the plank pose. It's the actual plank of wood. And there's a zillion other ways you can use it. I like it because it doesn't slip. It's sturdy. It gives my clients a sense of being held. Sometimes the blocks, especially if you have to put them up on end, they kind of wiggle wobble. And so people are a little bit more afraid to really give in and rest. They don't feel so supported. So yeah, this is my cat bear. So I hope you learned something that you can use. So thank you very much. Namaste.